Table podcast today. You can listen to it on any podcast app. We want you all to have a great day, everybody. Take a little time to enjoy the view. And do not let this world get you down. We are in it together. We'll get through it together. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
The investigation into the fire at Robbins Lumber in Searsmont is underway. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Multiple people have been displaced following an early morning fire in Brewer yesterday, and the Ellsworth community is stepping up to help a family who has lost their son. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Monday afternoon. We're watching rain showers moving in from the west and going toward the east. So we also have some clouds pushing through at this time. The rain again approaching this afternoon. Those will start to clear out of here later on tonight. So there is the rain right there. The lighting is backed off. There was lighting with it earlier. That has since gotten out of here. So here's Futurecast again, pushing that rain through. And again, overnight, we'll lose the rain. Overall, a partly cloudy sky tonight. Futurecast also indicating some fog that will be possible overnight, and that will be out of here for you Saturday. Some rain to the north, some sunshine possible farther down toward the south. Some wind possible today, reaching up to about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and these will be the wind gusts, not the sustained winds. Some gusty winds up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the winds again could see a few gusts up to 15 miles per hour before backing off overnight. Everyone will see gusty winds up to 15, 20, 25, even 30 miles per hour as we head towards Tuesday afternoon. So for today, mid-60s, mostly cloudy, some rain showers, and a south sustained wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Hourly forecast this afternoon. Here we go. Clouds and some rain showers. Temperatures overall in the 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. The investigation into the fire at Robbins Lumber in Searsmont is underway as officials work to determine what caused the fire and subsequent explosion that killed one firefighter and injured several others. Investigators from the State Fire Marshal's office were joined by special agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives National Response Team Sunday morning. The Fire Marshal's office shared an update Sunday afternoon that fire investigators from both agencies will conduct a joint scene examination focused on determining the origin and cause. Operations at the scene are expected to continue throughout the week. The scene will remain secured. The fire and explosion at the Searsmont Mill Friday morning was unprecedented and drawing dozens of first responders to the scene. Initial crews called on backup, describing the scene as mass casualty incident. Our Callie Warren provides us with a recap on what transpired in Searsmont on Friday and Saturday.
The Searsmont Fire Department was dispatched down to Robbins Lumber Company as
this is a mass casualty incident.
A fire at Robbins Lumber at 506 Main Street in Searsmont claimed the life of an on-duty firefighter, injured several, and left crews battling hot spots well into the following day.
Chaotic scene initially, and not because of the efforts of the first responders, but because of the magnitude of the fire involvement.
The Searsmont Fire Department was the first to arrive just after 10 a.m. Friday, with multiple other Waldo County volunteer departments responding to knock down what started as a fire inside a silo in the mill.
There's been a huge explosion. The silo just exploded. Multiple firefighters injured and burning.
During their suppression efforts, an explosion occurred, causing a mass casualty incident. One firefighter was found deceased on the scene, identified as 27-year-old Andrew Cross of the Morrill Fire Department. Several individuals were initially reported to be in serious and critical condition.
How many injuries do we have?
Known at least 10, if not more. A lot of people are third degree.
A statement on Saturday from Maine Health Medical Center in Portland says that personnel continue to treat 8 patients who were injured. 2 were treated and transferred. All employees of the mill were accounted for.
Buildings can be replaced, employees cannot. And the fire department has done a tremendous job.
Dozens of agencies helped assist from across the state, providing mutual aid, while community members came together to offer food, water, and support.
Here in Waldo County, most of our fire departments are made up of volunteers. They're awfully incredible, dedicated individuals.
At 2:15 p.m. Saturday, command was terminated, resulting in 28 difficult hours fighting that fire.
There were 3 towns that each lost 1 apparatus, so that's definitely a hole that will need to be filled, but not as important as the people that are hurt.
The investigation into the cause of the fire is underway. In Searsmont, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Now we turn our attention to the Morrill firefighter who died at the scene Friday, Andrew Cross, following the honorable transfer procession of firefighter Andrew Cross. The Liberty Fire and Rescue Department shared a video showing the somber moment Cross's body was removed from the scene on the fire on Friday. We're going to show some of that footage now. The fire department posted the video to social media, sharing that every individual present at the scene of Robbins Lumber stopped and united to facilitate the beginning of Andrew Cross's transportation to the Augusta ME's office. The department added that one of their firefighters completed basic fire school last year with Cross as his training partner and is deeply affected by this loss. They noted that this underscores the strong bonds formed during training and collaborative work, a sentiment that becomes known when viewing this video. The fire marshal's office yesterday said they're also monitoring the conditions of patients receiving care at hospitals throughout New England, many of whom remain in critical condition. We're also learning more about a firefighter who is recovering after sustaining serious burns from Friday's explosion. Firefighter Catherine Page is a member of the Belmont Fire Department and a lieutenant for the Northport Fire Department. She was on the scene on Friday when the silo exploded and was severely burned. That's according to her husband, Belmont firefighter Paul Page. According to Belmont's Fire Chief Ron Harford, Catherine is the kind of firefighter they can always count on, and she was named Firefighter of the Year in 2025. Catherine Page was one of the many who was transported to the Maine Medical Center in Portland. Her husband shared an update yesterday that she is responsive but is on a breathing tube and will need several surgeries and skin grafts. A GoFundMe has been set up to support her anticipated long road to recovery. That information can be found on our website, foxbangor.com. Officials from the town of Searsmont have shared that the town will be establishing an official relief fund in the coming days to support individuals and families affected by the Robbins Lumber fire. Officials are also warning people that many unofficial fundraisers have already started circulating online. The town shared in a social media post that they are encouraging everyone to be vigilant and double-check any source of a fundraiser before donating. Once the official Town Relief Fund is fully set up, official donation instructions will appear on the town's Facebook page and website. Later on in this broadcast, we'll share with you some of the people who were actually out supporting those in need over the past couple of days. Multiple people have been displaced and a residence was badly damaged following an early morning fire in Brewer yesterday. According to Captain Joe Dowdy with the Brewer Fire Department, crews responded to 508 Main Street in Brewer around 1:30 a.m. for a structure fire. Upon arrival, they found heavy fire coming from the back of the structure. According to Captain Dowdy, there was a 3-unit building with 5 tenants home at the time. He says everyone made it out safely before crews arrived on the scene and nobody was injured.
We all work together with cooperation from Bangor, Orrington, Eddington, Holden, and Dedham. We all worked together and extinguished the fire and knocked it down and took care of it.
The building has not been deemed a total loss, but it did sustain significant damage. The cause of that fire is under investigation. Authorities have recovered the body of a paddleboarder who went missing on Graham Lake in Ellsworth earlier this month. According to the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, the body of 20-year-old Grayson Mote of Ellsworth was found Friday evening by a family member who was out searching for him by boat. He was reportedly found dead approximately 2/10 of a mile from the shore of Graham Lake. The intensive water and air search for Mote began when he went missing while paddleboarding on Graham Lake on Tuesday, May 5th. Authorities say his body was transported to the state medical examiner's office. And in response to the tragic death of Grayson Mote, the Ellsworth community is stepping up to offer support for the family. On Wednesday, Helen's Restaurant in Ellsworth will host a benefit spaghetti dinner. The owner of Helen's Restaurant shared that she has known the family for decades. She says this is a profound loss that resonates throughout the entire community. All the money raised will go to help the Mote family with funeral arrangements or other expenses.
It's something to us that family just should not have to think about, and we're all happy to help and donate so that's one less thing that they have to worry about.
There will be a silent auction. More information can be found on the Helen's Restaurant of Ellsworth Facebook page. The dinner will be held from 4:30 to 6:30 on Wednesday. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, President Trump is making threats about what will happen if a peace deal with Iran isn't reached soon. We've got details when we return.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
I got hurt in a car accident. Why should I call the twos?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I don't take tiny checks. I get my clients big checks. I got a client who injured their shoulder, a big check for $275,000. Another client had multiple broken bones, and I also got them a big check for $450,000.
Don't take a tiny check for your car wreck. Call the twos.
I'm your go-to guy.
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Hard work used to be enough in Maine. You could stern in the summer, plow in the winter, dig clams, and send your kids to college. That's not possible anymore. We didn't stop working hard. The rules changed. I'm running to get money out of politics, pass real term limits, tax the wealthy, not the workers, and guarantee health care as a right, because you shouldn't have to be a billionaire to get a fair deal. I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
President President Trump is ramping up his threats against Iran, repeating his warning that Iranian civilians will be in danger if a peace deal isn't reached soon. The president hasn't offered a deadline, and Iranian officials say they're negotiating through Pakistani mediators. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest.
Today, as gas prices hover at roughly $1.50 more expensive since the war in Iran began, a new round of threats from President Trump, warning Iran that the clock is ticking to make a deal or there won't be anything left of them. The president also posted a series of AI-generated images this weekend showing him pressing a red button with explosions and mushroom clouds over an unspecified target on the screens behind him. Trump hasn't put a specific deadline on negotiations, and Iran's foreign ministry on state TV says today it responded to the American proposal through Pakistani mediators. The regime didn't share details of the counter-proposal, but did say it's not willing to compromise over Iran's, quote, right to enrichment through a decades-old treaty. Though the ceasefire agreement between the U.S. and Iran technically appears to be intact, regional allies are reporting new drone strikes. Saudi Arabia says its air defenses intercepted 3 drones coming in from Iraqi airspace over the weekend. And another drone hit the United Arab Emirates' only nuclear power plant. Iran has not taken responsibility for the strike. Global oil prices, meanwhile, are ticking up, today at $110 per barrel. A regular gallon of gas in the U.S. now averages $4.47, according to GasBuddy, forcing Americans to find ways to save money.
We did just get another car, a new CRV, so it'll get a little bit better gas mileage than this guy.
I kind of shop just around the edges of the supermarket, the fresh produce, the cheese and meat, and I just stay out of the middle.
The International Energy Agency notes the supply lost from the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz is depleting global oil inventories at record pace. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
The Dutch flag cruise ship hit by a deadly hantavirus outbreak is now docked in the Netherlands. The MV Hondius has been carrying 25 crew members and 2 medical personnel as it reached the port of Rotterdam Monday morning. Originally, some 150 passengers and crew from 23 countries were on board when a severe respiratory illness broke out. 3 people, a Dutch couple and a German national, have since died at the start of the outbreak. The vessel is set to undergo disinfection and crew members will be quarantined.
Today already the waste will be removed and all the bed linen and these things. These are going to be removed under strict protocols, according to the protocols that were designed by the National Institute of Public Health together with the WHO and some specialists from our public health service. And then tomorrow the ship will be cleaned and disinfected. And there will also be some samples taken before the cleaning by a research team to see whether the viruses can be found in frequently touched contact points. And also after the disinfection, they will do some sampling.
Health officials say it will take about 3 days to have the ship fully disinfected, and during the process, a small number of crew members will stay on board and then go into quarantine. Contract talks resume as the Long Island Railroad commuters scrambled to find ways to get to work this morning. LIRR workers picketed outside New York Penn Station on day 3 of a strike that shut down North America's largest commuter rail system. 5 unions representing 3,500 workers walked out on Saturday in a dispute over wage and health care premiums after months of stalled contract negotiations.
We're just asking for a reasonable cost of living adjustment on our wages. People think that, we don't deserve it. I think everyone understands that as costs go up, fuel, food prices, taxes, that it's reasonable to ask for a raise adjustment to keep up with that.
The Long Island Railroad serves nearly 300,000 passengers daily, and the strike comes ahead of the long Memorial Day weekend. After years of planning, a boost to one of rural Maine's healthcare systems comes to fruition as Millinocket Regional Hospital unveiled its new ER department. Our Doug Banks has that story.
We are here for you, and we're not going anywhere.
A new chapter for one rural Maine community in its healthcare system was unveiled on Friday as Millinocket Regional Hospital held a ribbon-cutting ceremony. for its new ER department, doubling the number of working bays, expanding the footprint of the department by more than 11,000 square feet, and bringing state-of-the-art technology to provide state-of-the-art care.
It takes a village to build something of this magnitude in rural America.
The ceremonial groundbreaking took place on New Year's Eve 2024. Around $13 million in congressionally directed spending went into the project and was provided by Senator Susan Collins.
The generous contributions to the new emergency department received from so many individuals, foundations, businesses, organizations demonstrate how much this hospital means to this region.
The opening of this modernized emergency department marks a significant step forward in our organization and for the community we serve.
The total cost of the project was around $17 million. In early June, hospital officials say they'll be transitioning operations from the old ER to the new ER.
Then the current space will be renovated, and once the renovation of the current ER is completed, the two sections will be joined together to make one large emergency department.
In Millinocket, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
We'll have more news after the break.
I was barricaded at the Capitol on January 6th. I saw it firsthand. I'm Jordan Wood. We can't go back to a broken system. I can't stand idly by as Trump rips away health care. ICE is terrorizing our streets, and billionaires buy elections. I spent my career defending democracy from election deniers and fighting corporate PACs. We need to take on Trump, beat Paul LePage, and finally deliver Medicare for all. I'm Jordan Wood. I approve this message.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stair Lifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stair Lift, the world's leader in stair lifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stair Lifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stair Lift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stair Lift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stair Lift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-732-2971 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-732-2971.
I got hurt in a car accident. Why should I call the twos?
Because when you're hurt, you need money. And I don't take tiny checks. I get my clients big checks. I got a client who injured their wrist, a big check for $185,000. Another client broke their collarbone, and I also got them a big check for $400,000.
Don't take a tiny check for your car wreck. Call the twos.
Hurt in a car accident? I'm your go-to guy.
Think you know Robert Charles? Think again. While President Trump was crushing the woke left, DC insider Bob Charles was cashing in, making millions holding lucrative contracts with the woke DEI Never Trump Obama administration. Bob Charles, looking the other way, abandoning the MAGA movement, working for liberal DEI-loving Democrats, failing President Trump. Anything for a buck chuck can't be trusted. Trump traitor Robert Charles, woke, radical, wrong. Just too liberal for Maine.
One of my favorite foods has to be a ripe, fresh tomato. Now, I'm not just talking about ones that look pretty, but rather ones that taste like they were just picked. And in the next few weeks, as they're coming into season, our markets and produce stands will be overflowing with them. That means we'll be looking for new ways to use them. So let me share a twist on a classic that'll be perfect. What we do is trim off the ends of 4 large tomatoes before cutting each one in half. Then we place these on a baking sheet and top each one with a couple spears of asparagus. These can be fresh, or if you prefer, they can be frozen ones. Now, we drizzle these with a bit of olive oil that we season with some garlic powder along with some salt and pepper. And to bring out their flavor, we roast these until they're tender, but not to the point where they lose their shape. Then we finish them off with some hollandaise sauce that we made from a mix. You see, the combo of the asparagus and the hollandaise is known as Oscar style. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for what we call roasted tomatoes Oscar, so you can enjoy a bounty of tomatoes in a whole new way. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh off the vine way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Now we're going to turn our attention back to the town of Searsmont, and they shine the light upon the nearby community members stepping up to support those impacted by the Robbins Lumber Mill incident. Folks from the Belfast VFW could be found outside the Belfast Co-op, set up to get donations from those shopping to then be distributed to injured first responders and their families, as well as local fire departments based on their needs.
And not everybody understands that every time a firefighter leaves his house in the morning or responds on a call, he don't know what he's going to walk into, and he don't know what the situation is going to be.
VFW members say typically they host this fundraiser for veterans, but they wanted to help out their nearby community impacted by the tragedy. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Susan Collins' charade is over. We don't care that you pretend to be remorseful at the start of a new forever war that you chose to let happen. We don't care that you are concerned while we go broke as you sell us out to the president and to the Epstein class, who are engineering the greatest redistribution of wealth from the working class to the ruling class in this nation's history. Symbolic opposition doesn't reopen hospitals. Weak condemnations don't bring back Roe v. Wade. And selling out the same working class voters who've delivered mandate for change after mandate for change is not forgivable. A performative politics that enables the destruction of our way of life is disqualified. As a United States Senator, I am running because it is time for change.
I'm Grant Plattner, and I approve this message.
You can't see third-hand smoke, but you may smell it. Third-hand smoke is toxic chemicals left behind by smoking and vaping. These chemicals stick to surfaces in your home and car and linger for years. They're on floors, furniture, toys. Everywhere children and pets touch and play. What you can't see can still cause harm. Protect your family from third-hand smoke. Visit mainquitling.com to learn the risks.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, let's get into things this afternoon, and we are seeing wave heights that aren't too bad at around 2 feet according to the buoys, and not too bad further off towards the north and east as well, so no advisories in effect along the coast, while further out towards sea, a little bit higher at around 4 to 5 feet according to the buoys as well. So overall, the ocean isn't too dramatic this afternoon. Now we have clouds pushing in from the west and going toward the east. Some rain showers developing as well. We will have rain showers pushing in during the afternoon period today. As we're watching this area, low pressure, a large area though that is tracking off to the east. Eventually we'll have a warm front, and a strong one at that, pushing in our direction, and we'll have higher temperatures. And yes, we'll we'll also have higher humidity levels pushing in our direction. So here's Futurecast. We're showing rain showers moving in today. We'll lose the precipitation tonight, and a lot of the clouds will break up too. We'll call it partly cloudy tonight with areas of dense fog on the way. And once we head towards your Tuesday, some rain to the north. The rest of us, though, a partly cloudy sky, some scattered showers and thunderstorms for parts of your Tuesday. By Tuesday night, we're not looking too bad, but for your Wednesday, again, starting off rather dry. So here's a severe threat for your Tuesday, just a marginal threat for the areas highlighted in this light green. So some storms as we head towards your Tuesday could get on the stronger side, some gusty winds and hail possible before we're all finished up there. As for the rainfall, I'm running this through at least Thursday, so some areas could see up to at least a ½ inch of rainfall or even higher further off towards the north before it begins to back off. So overall for today, here we go. Rain showers, temperatures in the mid-60s, and that south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. By tonight, upper 40s, partly cloudy, areas of dense fog, and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, scattered showers and some thunderstorms. Look at that high temperature, upper 80s. That's because of that warm front and that south wind getting up to about 20 miles per hour, and it will get rather muggy as well. Let's check out your extended forecast. Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, temperatures still in the mid-80s, and then the cold front passes through. Thursday, mostly sunny, highs in the low 60s, and then mid-60s Friday under a partly cloudy sky.
Thank you, Devin. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
If you've been injured in a motorcycle wreck, call 855-IRON-LAW today. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. We protect our own.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The following program is paid for by Integrated Wellness Solutions, a proud supporter of the American Heart Association. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hello, I'm Brandy Williams. Welcome viewers from across the country to Heart Health TV. So how's your heart? Healthy? Not sure? Well, sadly, I can safely say that probably half of you watching right now already have cardiovascular disease, and most of you don't even know it. And even more of you watching have high blood pressure, and you might not know that either. In fact, if you're over 55, there's almost an 80% chance you have high blood pressure. That's right. And high blood pressure is no joke because it can kill you.